Hello there everyone and welcome to Botanical Illustrations Layering Guide video. So first up I have stamped all of the images from the stamp set onto some white cardstock using obsidian ink. I'm then going to move ahead and move on to the first stencil that goes with the stamp set. And I am laying that up on the large branch as you can see. So for this layer here, I will be using the Grassfield ink to add the ink through the stencil. I'm using a small blending tool to do this, but you could use a large blending tool if you wished, or even a different kind of blending tool if you find that that works better for you. So once that's done, I can then move the stencil upwards and then I can add in the second layer for this image here. And for this one, I will be using the Mountain Pine ink to add the ink through the stencil. Again, I'm using a small blending tool, but you could use a larger one if you wished. Once this has been done, I can remove this stencil and then I'm going to move on to stencil number 2. So on this one, we have the other little leaf cluster here. So I'm just going to pop that into place. Again, as before, I'm going to be using the same colors as I did for the other one. So for the base layer on this one, I will be using the Grassfield ink to add the ink through the stencil. So once I'm happy with the amount of ink that I have on there, I can move that stencil over, and this is just going to pop in the second layer of the stencils. You can see this is going to add in the little veins and the shadow towards the center of the leaves. As before, I'm going to use the same color, so I am going to be adding the Mountain Pine ink through the stencil to add the second layer into place. Once that's done, I can remove the stencil and then move on to stencil number 3. So I'm just going to pop this into place onto my largest open flower. And for this layer here, I will be using the Coral Berry ink just to add the ink through there. I am adding more of the ink around the outside edge to add that beautiful shading there. Once that's done, I'm going to move the stencil over. And for the second layer of this one, I will be using the Ruby Red ink to add in those darker kind of places to the petals. Once that's done, I'm going to shift that stencil down to add in the flower center. First up, I am going to be using the chamomile to add in the base, move the stencil up, and then I am going to be using the Snapdragon ink to add in the darker points to the flower center. So once that has been done, I can move on to the next stencil, and this is going to add in the base layer to the more cupped flower. I'm going to use the same colors as before. So I am going to be using the Coral Berry for the base layer of my flower. Move that stencil over so we can add in the detail parts to the image. And this time I'm going to be using the Ruby Red ink to add those in. Next up, we just need to fill in the rest of the leaves. So for the base, I will be using the Grassfield, again as before, to add in that base layer to my leaves. Once I'm happy with the amount of green that I have there, I can then move that stencil up and then add in the second layer for the leaves using the Mountain Pine ink. So I am using the same colors, so all of my leaves have the same varying shades. Once that's done, that is all of the layering complete. We really do hope this helps. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye.